This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So we have created a cube, right? So you know how to create a cube, how to create a data source view. Let me open my existing, cube. So SSAS Amazon Sales Cube created few days back. Click on this project. So let me open the existing cube project. So this is the data source. Now you can collapse it. You will not be able to see anything. If you wanted to see it, just open this. If you wanted to modify the data source, double click on this. So click on edit. You can change the server names and everything. If you wanted to change server name is this, database is this, you can change later. And if you wanted to change the account information from this to this, you can also change. And data source view, if you wanted to modify, double click on this. Data source view will be in the gray color. So if you wanted to create something or if you wanted to watch or some data, right click on this, explore data, and lot of other things we can create, new named calculations, lot of things we can do. So when you go to the cube, double click on the cube, it will be in a blue and yellow color. Clear? If you go to the DSV, it will be in the gray color. So it look like similar, but you need to have you will be having gray color icons there. You will be having a blue and yellow color, and you have lot of things, right? If you wanted to browse the data, you first double click on this and you can go to browser if you wanted to browse the data, right? So you can simply go to browser. So whatever you wanted to have it, for example, I wanted to see sales amount. Click on execute the query. This is the query. I wanted to see location wise, country wise, what is the sales. So instead of clicking on every time, you right click on this auto execute. Okay. You say auto execute. So you will be able to get very, very easily like this, right? I would like to get country wise, state wise data. I would like to see the product, name wise or category wise. Simply drag and drop. I want to have delivery date. So in which year and which are the products got delivered. So like that, you simply drag and drop. You should be able to get the data. This is coming from where? From cube database. Clear? Because this is my cube and we have processed. So when you go to properties and go to deployment, and this is the database got created. Where is this database now? I will show you this database. Let me go to SQL Server. Now, this is OLTP database, right? This is normal database. You will have Amazon, Amazon DW, Amazon Stage, and this is a two-dimensional database. If you wanted to get OLAP database, or you can say, SSAS database, click on connect. Now go to analysis services. Now you give the server name. Kedar is my server name, or I can give also dot, right? So local SQL server, click on this. So you will be able to see database. This is what is called OLAP database or cube database. Clear? So you know what is OLTP, right? OLTP is Amazon. This is OLTP database. Okay. So DW is a data warehousing database. Okay, so that is what you should be able to understand. When you come down, you should be able to see, what? So this is what is called OLAP database. Clear? Actually, OLAP means cube. Clear? But we'll be saying this and both as a OLAP only. Clear? We'll be saying OLAP. OLAP means what? Data warehousing. On top of this is going to be having detailed data. Okay, this is going to be having detailed data. This is going to be having aggregated data. For example, if we have 10 and 20 here, the 30, the total is stored in the OLAP database. Clear? So we have OLTP database. data warehousing database, and we have OLAP database, that is cube database. So this is what is called multi-dimensional database. Clear? It is a multi-dimensional database. This is a two-dimensional database, data warehouse. Okay, data warehouse is also two-dimensional database. Clear? If you wanted to retrieve the data from the OLAP database, we write MDX queries. What is MDX? Multi-dimensional expression queries. If you wanted to retrieve data from these two databases, we write normal queries. Okay? Normal select star from the table name and very close. All of them we're going to be writing here. MDX queries similar to this, but lot of variations are available. We'll discuss one by one, Are you with me, guys? So we have, OLTP database. We have data warehousing database. Actually, this is what is your, cube database is called as OLAP database. This is the database where you should be able to go and see the cube. Clear? So this is my sales cube and everything. If I wanted to write a MDX queries, I have to go here, click on the new query. You should be able to get like this. This is what is your cube, and you can write what MDX queries here. Okay, you should be able to write MDX queries. But if you wanted to write normal queries, I go to data warehousing. I can go to click on new query window. So this is a normal query. You can write it. Clear? So you can have normal query means we are going to be writing data warehousing queries and everything, right? So I can say use adventure, not adventure, Amazon, right? Amazon DW go. Okay, so I can write normal queries here. I will be able to write MDX queries there. So that is what we will use it. So whatever you want to have it, normal queries means here, MDX queries means here. So that is what you should be able to understand. So how to retrieve the data from the cube? We can retrieve the data by going to this. So we can simply go to browser tab, and which is getting the data from this cube. Have you seen this cube? Now this is the cube it is connecting to and getting the data from that cube only. Have you seen this Amazon sales cube? So it is getting the data from there. Clear? So when you create a cube structure, when you process it, what happens? All the data is going to go to this cube database only. Clear? So this cube database again written connected to this browser tab. Clear? So browser tab is going to this database and bringing all this data. Okay, so that is what you need to understand. You right click on this, you can say clear grid. So whatever you wanted to have it, you should be able to simply always go to which tab? Browser tab. Okay, for example, I wanted to see product wise sales. Drag and drop product name. You will not get any data. You will not get no rows found. Why no rows found? You have to compulsorily drag and drop some measure. Clear? When you drag and drop measure, then only the data will come. So always what you do, you drag and drop some measure, sales quantity, sales amount. I wanted to have a product wise, and I would like to say custom category wise. Category means you know category name wise, product name wise, what is the price and what is the amount, what is the count, how many people have bought this item. Books category, adventure works, 10 customers bought this. Clear? 40 customers bought this, or 40 times they bought it, like that how many times it got bought. Clear? So you should be able to drag whatever you would like to have it. I would like to have country wise as well. You can simply drag and drop country, or you can remove this and a country I would like to place it here, so you should be able to place it there. So in India, this is a sales, right? And this is a sales, lot of things you'll be able to write. And if you wanted to see the code, if you wanted to see the code, go here, click on this. This is what is called MDX query, right? This query is only we are going to be writing now. So when you drag and drop something, it is going to be creating an MDX query. So this is the query that we are going to be writing now. Clear? So non-empty measures dot quantity sold, measures dot sales amount, blah blah blah. automatically SSAS engine is writing an MDX query. So we are going to be writing these MDX queries. Now you can just go back and switch off and switch on, switch off and switch on. So for each and every drag and drop, you will have MDX query. Right click on this, clear grid. Clear? So how can we write MDX queries? And to retrieve the data, we are going to be writing MDX queries. Where we can write the data, the queries from the cube, from the cube. How to connect the cube? I will show you once again. Let me go and disconnect. This is a disconnect. This is what is called a connect. So when I click on connect, or you can also click on this connect button, click on analysis services, server name is dot, click on connect, you should be able to get this. Clear? So you can also close this window. If you want to close this window, again reconnect it. That's fine. So whatever you would like to have it, so you should be able to close this window, everything is closed. Now you go, you are in this database, click on new query window, it will open one more window. So this is where we rate MDX. MDX stands for multi-dimensional expression queries. Now, if you wanted to see how the queries. So already we discussed OLTP data warehouse, and we write normal queries in SSRS and Power BI reports. But in Cube, so what Cube will have a Cube database to retrieve the data. What queries we write? MDX queries, and these are going to be used in SSRS and Power BI or any reporting tool. Clear? So we have two types of cubes. One is called a tabular model cube, multi-dimensional cube. We are discussing multi-dimensional cube. Tabular cube will be discussed as part of our Power BI classes. Clear? So Power BI classes, I'm going to be discussing about tabular model. So in SSAS, we're going to be discussing about multi-dimensional cubes along with the MDX queries. Tabular model, and we write DAX queries there, data analytical expression queries, DAX. Power BI will come with SSAS tabular model. Tabular model will have a DAX queries. Even Power BI will have a DAX expressions. Clear? Data analytical expressions. MDX stands for multi-dimensional expressions. Power BI can take data from data warehousing, OLTP, multi-dimensional cube, tabular cube. It can take the data from anywhere. Doesn't matter. Now, this is how the cube looks like. This is one dimension, this is one dimension, this is one dimension, and you understand it is only 3D, right? Cube is a 3D, but actually multi-dimensional. You cannot visualize. Microsoft is giving us this diagram, so it is a three-dimensional cube. Cube means three-dimensional, but I'm talking about multi-dimensional. You cannot have a picture for multi-dimensions also. Clear? Microsoft is saying you take this and you can say cube. Cube is actually is not, it is three-dimensional. I'm talking about multi-dimensional. We don't have a diagram for multi-dimensional representation as well. Clear? You assume this will be something like this. Collection of tables is called a cube. Okay. So one side you have a year dimension, one more side you have a product dimension, one more side you have a regional dimension, one more side you have some other category dimension. Like that, lot of dimensions are available. Collection of tables actually cube. Clear? I wanted to know the sales by soda by West in West region in year 2001. I'm talking about dim timetable this region table West, and the product is called soda. I'm talking about three dimensions. So what is that I need? I need sales. Sales is a measure using the product and the region and the year. We are talking about only three dimensions, but you may be having four, five, six thousands of dimensions tomorrow. That is what is called multi-dimensional queries. You can write it, right? So which queries are easier? Definitely MDX queries are easier. What queries are very tough? Normal queries are very, very tough. I'll show you very soon. Clear? This is what is called MDX syntax. Select set tuple member on a column or a zero or access zero. Set tuple or a member on rows, blah, blah, blah. We have a lot of dimensions, right? I told you. We have dimension 1, dimension 2, we have dimension t. So you can get lot of dimensions from the cube name, where condition, no names after 5 levels and maximum 120 levels. Now you understand how we are going to be retrieving data. Clear? So we are going to be retrieving data, not in this one. So if you understand this x-axis and the y-axis, x-axis means what? So it is nothing but a column. So we are going to be, when you drag and drop something, it will create like this. So x-axis means a column. Understand this. When you drag and drop something, you will get this kind of a chart. This is what is called a column, right? So x-axis means axis 0. It is also called as a simply 0, or it is also called as a column. So x-axis is nothing but a column data. So y-axis, when you drag and drop something, the chart will get prepared like this. So this is what is called a row, right? So y-axis means a row. It is called as axis 1 or 1. Remember, so we will be able to store the data either in x-axis or y-axis. Then we can also have a z-axis. Clear? This is called 0. This is called 1. This is called 0 axis. This is what is called 1 axis, or this is called x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. 0, 1. This is a 2. Okay, z-axis. Then you will have a fourth axis. Okay, 0, 1, this is 3, and this is 4. So you can visualize the data. You can have a fifth axis. So lot many axes are available, right? So we can visualize the data up to 127. So that is what according to the syntax. Clear? If you go back and see, you can have maximum 127 levels. We can have x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, blah, 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 and there is a name. 0 is called as a column, 1 is called as this, and the second axis is called as a page and extent. Clear? If you see, so this is a column, this is a row, and there is a beautiful name given. This is a chapter, and this is a book, blah blah blah. Clear? The different names are available. So second is page, extent, a chapter. Then after 5 there is no names also available. Clear? So we are not going to retrieve select star, that kind of a code we never write. Select the data, and you may be displaying the data in x-axis. Remember, you may be displaying the data in x-axis, or you may be displaying the data in y-axis, or you may be displaying the data in some other axis. Clear? So axis 0, axis 1, axis 2, axis 3, like that, maximum 127 accesses we can have. But unfortunately, MDX support only x and y. Clear? So these are not supported, even though syntactically they are there. Maximum you can visualize the data in two axes. One is called x, the other one is called y. We cannot see the data in the one more third axis also. Syntactically it is there, but Microsoft SSAS MDX is not supporting that. Clear? So that is what is a limitation here. So be clear on this, guys. Clear? How are we going to see the data? Maximum X and Y only, but you have a lot of pages and extents and chapters, and it is saying 127 levels. We can visualize the data, but SSAS is engine is going to support max only X and Y axes, not more than that. Clear? But the data stored in multi-dimensional format, but while retrieving the data, you cannot show all the data in different axes. Why? Because we don't have that much of a hardware. Now I can see two-dimensional or 3D movies, 4D movies, 5D, 10D, 11D, 16D movies I can see. Can we see multi-dimensional movies? Do you have that kind of a movies now? Do you have that kind of a hardware supporting? No, that kind of a hardware you cannot have it, right? So multi-dimensional is not a three-dimensional, four-dimensional, five-dimensional, right? Multi means you should be able to visualize the data unlimited with dimensions. Okay, hardware is not supported. Even normal theater we have 2D 3D movies, 4D 5D, and like that we have I think 11D or 16D I heard. So after that also we cannot visualize the data, right? Data storing level we have a multi-dimensional options. Data visualizing level we don't have a hardware to show multi-dimensional data. Can we see that? A movie can be seen up to maximum. I had seen only 3D movies. I don't know whether you people seen 5D or 7D, 10D, 11D movies. I never seen in my life. Clear? The hardware is not there in the real time, so you cannot visualize multi-dimensional data. So the hardware, there is a restriction problem, but storing, there is no issue at all. Visualization, yes, there is an issue. Clear? So maximum companies will have 2D monitors, right? So how many people will have 3D monitors? Will you have 3D monitors? So definitely we will not be able to see the 3D, 4D queries as well. So Microsoft is restricting to visualize the data in two-dimensional because hardware, maximum people will have a laptops and everything two-dimensional, not more than that. We cannot show you data three-dimensional way, four-dimensional, because you need to have sophisticated screens, sophisticated monitors, specialized devices need to be equipped, and it has to be installed in the for each and every manager, so that cannot be done. So we are going to visualize the data in the two-dimensional way. It is only in x-axis and y-axis. Clear? Storing data in multi-dimensional, but visualizing the data, retrieving the data in the two-dimensional way. Clear? So that is what you need to understand, only in the x-axis and y-axis. Now writing a query is very, very simple. Now I want to show you how to write the simple MDX query. I'll go to this. Now, how do I write a simple query? It is very, very simple. Simple MDX query I'm writing. It's very, very simple. So you say select from the cube name. This is the syntax. Okay. Select star should not be used. Star means it is a normal query. Star should not be used. Cube name. Where is the cube name? This is what is called cube name. Drag and drop and execute it. That's it. Okay. So this is what is some basic query. Okay. What it is bringing, nobody knows, but it is bringing some data. It is bringing you some data. So this is what is called very, very basic query. What it is bringing, we don't know. But at least we knew that this is the basic query. But I wanted to get what is the total sales amount. Clear? So what is the total sales amount means? It's very, very simple. Select from the cube name. What is the cube name? This is a cube name. But what I need sales amount. Where is sales amount? Go to measures, go to sales. There is a drag and drop sales amount. Clear? But you have to tell clearly where you wanted to display. Clear? I wanted to display where? Either in x-axis or in the y-axis. Where you would like to display, you need to tell, I wanted to display in columns or 0 or x0. You have to say on columns. Clear? And you must execute the query like this. This will give you what is the total sales amount. This is the MDX query. Let me write equivalent normal data warehousing query. So this is my same query I'm going to be writing. What is the sales amount? Now, how to get where is the sales amount? First, you should know the table name. Where is the table name? It is a table called fact sales table. Okay. Now, if I drag and drop only sales amount is here. If I say sales amount, will I get sales amount, total sales amount? It is giving me individual sales amount. I told you data warehouse will have detailed data. I told you many times. It is not going to aggregate. Data warehouse will have what kind of data? Detailed data, daily data. So this is what is called detailed data, right? But I need the sum. So what I should do? I need to use a sum. I need to use a sum. And what? And I need to give some alias. So sales amount or total sales amount. You give some alias if you wanted to give, and you execute this query. Now see the beauty. The beauty, there is no beauty here because the problem, you should know what kind of a aggregation you should use it. That is first problem. So it will have detailed data, and you have to write a technical. You should be very, very, very good. technically sound person only can write these queries. So I should know what kind of a thing. And these queries are very, very slow. Why slow? Because if you have 1 billion data in this table, you are taking row by row, row by row, row by row, and doing summing operation, right? On the fly. On the fly means what? When you execute this query, it will go to the data and it takes row by row, row by row, row, and it will perform some operations. It is now faster because I have limited data. I have only 1,000 rows. 1,000 rows, my computer can do it within a fraction of seconds. But if I have 1 billion data, my computer will take 1 hour of time. So if you go here, what is the advantage? You are not putting sum because it is already summed it. And you need not worry from which table I should use it. Only one thing, that is called cube, right? You're not worried which table I need to use in. You're not worried which, summing operation I should use. You're not worried about the time also, because already aggregated data simply you bringing, right? So this query is slow. This query technical sound people can get it, and detailed data you will have. This is the equivalent query of data warehouse. Now compare the data 10822 blah 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 1082283 blah blah blah. So end of the day, whatever be the data that is there in this database, the same data will get aggregated. If you have 10 and 20, when you aggregate it, you will have 30 here, nothing else. Clear? So you should be able to do the testing like this. Now I go, this is what is my simple MDX query and the equivalent query also I've written. Now I wanted to know what is the total quantity sold. Clear? Now I will be able to write very simple query. Select from the cube name. Cube name is this, and I have to drag and drop total quantity sold. You need to say on column, or you can say on zero. On zero, on column, anything is fine. Zero means what? It is x-axis, or you can say axis zero. Anything is fine. Columns, we cannot say column. Column means it is not going to work. If you write like this, it will give you an error. Clear? You have to say columns. So where you would like to display, I wanted to display on columns, or you can say zero. So this is my, what is the total quantity sold as of now. So the same equivalent query we can write, go to data warehousing. So data warehousing, I wanted to write same table, I would like to use it. And this time, so which column I have to get it? I have to get quantity sold. If I write a quantity sold, will it work? It is not going to work, which will give you detailed data. But what I need, I have to use sum of quantity sold as total quantity sold. Now, this query is, very, very tough query. And when you have a large amount of data, it is going to be executed on the fly. It will become slow. Slow, technically sound people can write detailed data, a lot of issues. But 284909, you compare 284909. So this is also fine. That is also fine. Now, I wanted to know country-wise total sales amount. This is my MDX query. Clear? So country wise, what is the total sales amount? Very simple. Select from the cube name. Cube name is here. Okay. Now country wise, where is the country? Country, go to location and you have a country. Don't drag and drop this. You open, you will have one more country. What is this country? What is this country? We'll see later. But let me drag and drop this country wise. Okay. Now you can say country wise. Okay. What you need? Comma. You need sales amount. Where is the sales amount? Sales amount is here. Very simple. Clear? So you can drag and drop anything. For example, I would like to get first sales amount, comma. Then you can also have country wise. Anything you can have it. So drag and drop country. So go country, open the country, then you will have one more country, drag and drop. Okay. Now where you would like to have this, I would like to have on columns. And this one I wanted to have on rows because I told you where we can display the data. One is called columns and rows, not row, not a column. Clear? So some data in x-axis, some data in the y-axis. So that is what I can show and put comma, and you can display this data. So this is a simple query, a country wise. So India, this is the sales, and USA, this is the sales. Now tell me, same query I am planning to write in my data warehouse. Let me go back and execute it. Now country wise. Now see the problem now. Where is my country? Country is not available here. So where is the country? Country available in a table called a location table. I don't have a country name. Where is India? It does not. Where is the country? Country available in this table. Clear? So now you see the drama I am going to be using here. Okay, what is a drama I'm playing? So I have to go and country is country here, right? So I have to get the sales amount here. Where is the sales amount? Sales amount is here. I have to join these two tables based on the location key. Now we know how to join the tables, right? So joining tables are very easy. Now see how difficult it is for you to join tables and get complete data. So factor table as A, join. This is one more table you need to join. On what? As B on A dot location key is equivalent to B dot location key. Okay. After joining, you execute it. Now what you need to do it? Then later you need country wise. You have to write a group by clause. See now, lot of technically should know what is a group by clause. So you need to say group by country. Clear? So country I'm writing. Will it work? No, you need to take this and remove and put it here. And you need to say sum of sales amount, right? So you are doing a lot of things as sales amount. Now executing the data. Now see how much difficult it is. You should know what is a group by clause. You should know how to join. You should know where the table is available. You should know on what basis I need to join. Are we joining here? Did we join anything here? So this is the beauty, very simple. No joins in MDX, no joins, no group by clause, right? No grouping, nothing is there. It is very simple to write, drag and drop whatever you would like to have it. And normal queries are complex. You are writing summing operation, sum of sales amount, you're writing grouping by, you're writing joining. You have to write lot of things here. You're going mad. So the data warehousing query is very difficult, not very easy, because in the data warehouse, you need to join the tables, and joining is not a simple operation. When you have millions of data here, when you have billions of data here, joining on this billions of data is not so easy. Joining is always a costly operation. So when you write this kind of a query, end of the day, you are going to get the same output. India sales and this one also sales. You can see execute and see the this sales and that sales, the numbers are the same. But now how you're writing technically, you have to scratch your head. And one more thing, you have to execute and wait, because it is going to execute on the fly, process the data on the fly. It is not going to be storing the aggregated data anywhere. Clear? Joins are there in data warehousing, and you need to use a group by clause. Technically very difficult queries we write, right? And when you go to data warehouse, when you go to OLAP or MDX queries, no need of joining. Only all the data is available in single cube. All the data is not available in a single place in RDBMS. You have a location separate table, customer separate table, this separate table, that separate table. You go mad with the data warehousing. You enjoy the MDX queries because no need of joins, already aggregated data, simply drag and drop. Whatever you need, it is ready. Aggregations are ready. You need not worry about. I'm not putting a sum of here because it is sum only. So it is already aggregated data. You should not write again sum of this. Clear? So that is what is this one. So no aggregations, so no group, no aggregations are going to be happening on this data. So this is the simple query when you compare with this query. Clear? So always you can write equivalent data warehousing query with your MDX query, right? So which queries are faster? Definitely MDX queries are faster. So why we recommend to write the MDX queries, multi-dimensional queries, we recommend not to use simple queries. Clear? These queries are will have lot of joins, will have lot of difficulty to write it. Technically you need to have a lot of understanding of SQL queries, and you should know how to perform joining operations. Joining is slow operation. So these are always bad. What queries are bad? Data warehousing queries are always bad and slow. Clear? So this is very important interview question. Which queries are faster and which queries are easy to write it? Is it MDX query or normal SQL queries, SQL queries? Definitely SQL queries are complex. SQL queries are slow. Why? Because we are going to send this data again, go to the data warehouse tables and bring the data on the fly and perform all some operations, where clause this one, that one, blah blah blah. For example, I wanted to know same query. What I do, I will be simply country wise total sales amount for year 2012. Okay, country wise total sales amount for year 2012. So this is the data. How do I do that? I will be able to get the same data. I will be able to get the same data. I go to where clause. So where is year number available? We know year number is available in a sale date. Okay. So we have a year number. What year I need? When you go to the year number, you will be able to get lot of years. I wanted to get 2012. Okay. Now what is the sales happened in 2012 for country wise, this one and that one. So when you execute, so it is very simple query. Okay. So we simply copy paste the above query and we are putting year number. Now I go. Okay. So where is the year number available? So I'll show you one more query. You will understand where is the year numbers available, right? All year data is available in the dim time table. You will have year number in this. Okay, so I wanted to have this table. So there is a sale date key. So this key, and in the this table, okay, and you need to understand this and this, right? You need to have a date key and date key. You need to join the tables. The first headache is on what columns you need to join it. So I am telling you this column and you have to go to this column and join it. So it is a big headache for you. So you should join the tables. You have to bring out the data. Now I have joined only two tables. Join one more table now. Join which table? Dim date table. On which condition? As you can say, see, on a dot sale date key, this is what you should know, and c dot, 1 minute ago. Okay, so c dot, if you go to c means this, c date what, date key. So this is completely headache for us. Okay, date key you have to join, and later you have to say where year number will get included is equal to 2012. Now see, it is not so easy. It is very difficult. Clear? So this is what is happening. This is what is happening. So you need to join lot of tables, but here simply we are not joining anything. Simply drag and drop the column and put the number. That's it. You don't have anything else. You need not worry about this. Clear? It is very, very important. And you should know these queries are very, very, easy. And these queries are very, very complicated. Why? More joins and more, syntax you should know, more difficult, technically very, very difficult queries these are. And the normal SQL developer will go mad, right? So stop writing the queries in data warehousing. Clear? For each and every requirement, you should be able to go and write the queries, simply drag and drop and work on these tables. Anybody can easily write the MDX queries, not very complicated at all. Clear? But lengthy queries. You will see a lot of lengthy queries, but not at all complicated. Clear? So I'm able to have only one column here. So that I'm going to be displaying there. For example, tomorrow I wanted to have what is the total count, total count of customers. Okay. So there is a count here, right? Select sales count from the cube. So this is what is the cube name. And if you don't write anything, it is not going to work. It is not going to work. I told you, you have to say on columns. On columns means zero. You have to compulsorily give like this. Now it is giving you the total quantity is, the total count is, number of rows in the fact table is this much. Can I give rows here? Rows means one. So this will give me an error because you cannot have a row without a column. Clear? So this is also one more important. If you have, a single column, you display them in the column only. Don't give rows. Clear? So rows is optional. Columns is mandatory. You need to specify compulsorily this. If you have one more column, then you can have, for example, I want to have, sales count, let us say product wise, how many people, or category name wise, something like this. I would like to drag and drop something here. Okay, on one. So make sure that you put comma. Many people will ask me that it is not working. They would have forgotten this. Clear? It will give me total category, how many products, you know, how many books sold, 68 books, close this much of books sold. Clear? This is a count, how much products got sold, something like this. Clear? So you can interchange this. Instead of zero, you can have a one there, you can have a zero there. That's not a problem. Clear? You can interchange, but if you have only one column, that has to be there in the zero. It is going to be shown like this. Clear? So always the best practice is that measures need to be there in the zero axis, and dimensions. This is a dimension. Category name is a dimension. Dimension need to be there in the rows y axis. This is best practice. Or you can interchange also. That is not a problem. But you cannot say so it is going to work. There's no problem, right? So if nothing is there, column has to be there. But you cannot say I would like to display the data in the row. It is going to fail. Clear? So you cannot display this. So row is optional. Okay. So column is what? Must. So you need to have a column. Column is a zero, so that you can have it here. There is no problem at all. It is going to work. Clear? So if you wanted to get a sales amount, one way we can get the sales amount like this, right? So what is the sales amount? We can get like this, right? So one more way, if you want to get the sales amount, the different ways. So we should be able to get sales amount like this also. So select from the cube name. It is giving you some data, but I would like to use where clause and drag and drop sales amount. This is also perfectly fine. What is the total sales amount? Either you can write like this, you will get the data. You should be able to also write like this. There is no issue at all. Clear? But I wanted to execute both queries. Can I execute both queries? You will get an error, right? But in the normal queries, you can execute multiple queries. There is no issue. I can execute this query and this query at a time. Okay, I will be able to get the data like this, but MDX you will not be able to execute both queries at a time. You must use go in between. Okay, you must write go. So then only you can execute both queries. Without go, you will not be able to execute it. If you want to execute multiple queries, go. Okay, you need to create two batches. So this is first query execution. This is second query execution. Whether you write like this with a select a clause or whether you write like this with a vary clause, the data is the same. Clear? So you need to understand there are different steps in which you can use, and you should be able to write your queries. Clear? So these are the simple basic queries that we had seen today, and tomorrow we'll slowly go into depth and understand one by one. Clear? So these are what is the total sales amount, what is the total blah 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 we have written. The same thing can be written, what is the total sales amount country wise, year wise, this wise, that wise. You can practice them. So you can also use very clause, there is no problem at all. Okay, so this will, it will work, but if you put rows it is going to fail because column is must, row is optional. Clear? It will fail, right? Gives an error because no column, because if you have only one column, display display the data in the column, not in the row. So the remaining things we'll discuss tomorrow. Clear? So a lot of other things we'll have tomorrow. So thank you guys. Bye bye. Any questions? So MDX is very easy when you compare it to normal queries. Remember that.
Sir,